Hello, Grand Rapids. This is City Manager Mark Washington, and coming to you from City Hall right in front of the Calder. I want to wish you all happy holidays, making sure that you are able to remain safe with your family. Certainly continue to maintain appropriate distancing. Don't travel if you have to. Make sure you wear your mask up as needed, particularly when you are out in public. But I do invite you to come safely experiencing some of the things that we have to offer as a city. The tree is lit up downtown, and ice skating will be happening in Rosa Park Circle starting on December the 18th. And we invite you to come down and experience that with your family. Support some of the local businesses. Many of our businesses are partially closed. They can only have takeout and pickup services, and we ask that you patronize them. There are some where you may be able to experience outdoor dining. Many of them have accommodated some of their patrons by having heated spaces and some shelters for single family households. So come out and experience Grand Rapids. A few things I'd like to make you aware of that's happened at the City Commission. This past week, the City Commission approved funding for us to continue to support our homeless outreach efforts. Right now, our shelters are nearing some level of capacity because of the inability for people to remain outdoors safely. And we've worked with our partners at Mel Trotter's Ministry, Guiding Light, and many of our other partners to create additional sheltering space. And so for the next 5 months, we're going to open up a new facility. Thank you so much, Mel Trotter, at the Purple East facility off of Ionia. This is near Hartside Park, and hopefully that will allow many of our guests and residents who are at Hartside Park who are outdoors to be able to come and experience warm indoor sheltering with plumbing. They will be very inclusive. It follows all the CDC guidelines, making sure that those residents will have the appropriate physical distancing. So I want to thank our commission and our partners for helping us with that. Also, the commission approved funding for preventive services for eviction prevention. And we are partnering with the 61st District Court to make sure that we do as much as we can to mitigate those efforts. Last year, over 100 people were assisted in making sure they were not evicted. And many of those persons assisted were people of color. Over 70% were African American. So I want to thank the Commission for continuing funding for that program. There's other efforts, lots of efforts going in terms of improving housing and housing opportunity here in Grand Rapids. Our housing needs assessment study that was done in partnership with Housing Next indicated that there was the need for over 9,000 housing units in our area over the next 5 years. And the City Commission took a big step forward this past week in approving a public hearing for having the usage of ground floor commercial space to be used for residential housing and allowing for our zoning ordinance to be amended. There will be a public hearing on January the 12th in the new year 2001 that will allow the public to come in and provide feedback, particularly as we try to increase housing supply in our area. I also want to share my appreciation for the Office of Public Oversight and Accountability, as well as the Grand Rapids Police Department and other community partners who have advocated for us to have alternative ways of disrupting, preventing crime, and having some evidence-based approach. And the Office of Public Accountability and Oversight, with the support of our Chief of Police, Chief Payne, released an RFP asking for various proposals that will help to have a community-led effort to disrupt some of the most violent acts in our city, whether it's those acts that are initiated or people who are responding in retaliation, to have a really boots on the ground approach and connecting with community in a way that will disrupt that cycle of crime. And so we are looking forward to the proposals that will come. The city has committed to be a partner in this work for the next 3 years, and will invest over $225,000 in this work. And we're looking for a lead agency to bring forth proposals that will help us replicate what has been done in other cities in terms of other national models around a community-led evidence-based crime reduction program. The police department is still committed to doing the work that's part of their strategic plan and making sure this is the safest mid-sized city in Grand Rapids. I know 2020 has been a very unusual year, not only for Grand Rapids, but around the country. But our police department's implementation of the strategic plan with neighborhood policing, as well as doing problem-oriented policing and responding to areas. We have seen that when they have worked with community and have identified what those issues are, have been effective in reducing the amount of violence and crime in those areas, and the chief will continue to do that along with his department. So we're looking forward to having better outcomes in 2021. There's also some innovation that's happening around our city. You will be hearing about it more. We've worked in partnership with Kent County, who has made some CARES funding available for us to have Wi-Fi in public spaces, particularly in some of our parks. And so we are piloting a project in 10 city parks, and you can go on the website shortly and you'll be able to see what those parks are that will allow you to utilize the Wi-Fi during park hours and while they are open. And this will help some of our residents who are unable to access high-speed internet at their homes to have a space where they can drive to, help have students who will be able to also access that space on weekends while the park is open. And so we're looking forward to that implementation, and hopefully in the new year we'll be able to come and share the details of those operations and the locations of all the parks where that will be occurring. Again, I want to express my appreciation to all of the frontline workers, all the city employees who really sacrifice every day to make sure that we continue to provide the residents of this community the type of quality of services and life that they deserve. I want to wish you all a very safe and happy holidays. It's been a very, very challenging year, and I'm looking forward to many, many great things in 2021. Happy holidays.